on Comcast Sportsnet, part of the NBC Sports Group.
Last night, over 30,000 fans enjoyed a ceremony for the ages as the Athletics celebrated the 10-year anniversary of their historic 20-game win streak. In a performance reminiscent of the 2002 team, the green and gold dominated behind 8 strong innings from Bartolo Colon and the power stroke of rookie sensation Yoenis Cespedes. Today, it'll be Jared Parker's turn to shine as he looks to get back in the win column and go for the sweep. It's the final game of the series. A's Indians next. Beautiful day for baseball at the O.K Coliseum. Maybe a little tailgate beforehand and then get inside. Get your free t-shirt today, The Streak, as we continue to celebrate the 10-year anniversary of the 20-game win streak. Shin-Soo Choo in the lineup. He had a home run last night for the Indians, and it'll be Jared Parker who's going to try to get back on track. It's Hyundai Sunday on Comcast Sportsnet California, brought to you by your Bay Area Hyundai dealers. It's the A's and the Indians coming up on Comcast Sportsnet California. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Oakland A's baseball. Along with Ray Fosse, I'm Glenn Kuiper. Good series so far for the Athletics. They go for the sweep today. And Ray, the A's have scored 14 runs in the first 2 games of this series. No surprise, because Yoenis Cespedes looks like he's getting hot again.
You know, everybody talks about maybe he's getting a little bit tired because of the games he played in Cuba, only about 90 games, but he seems to heat it up a little bit more, especially this time of the season. I think it's great the way he is right now hitting the ball, because he's hitting line drives for home runs. The speed is tremendous, but I think you make a mistake with him right now. He's going to take advantage of it. But I think overall he's a 5-tool player, stole a big base on Friday night, helped the A's come back and win that game. But I think he is just continue to play the way everybody hoped he would be. Maybe he's surprising a lot of people. I don't think he's surprising himself or Ariel Prieto, who continues to try to get him to play every day very hard.
On the mound this afternoon for the Athletics, Jared Parker. Ray's in a little bit of a slump. He has not won in his last 4 starts.
I think you like some of those 14 runs you talked about a little bit earlier, because the run support has not been there for Jared Parker. He's lost his last 3, but he's been shut out in 2 of those games. So if the A's giving some runs, maybe that will make a big difference for him. Still a very good pitcher. He's a young pitcher. Of course, the A's are watching out for him, Malone, Griffin, these guys, making sure that they're not over-pitching them. But Jared Parker, give him some offensive support. I think we'll see a big difference in his win total.
If the A's are going to show some offense, they'll have to do it against a pretty good right-hander, Justin Masterson. He's won his last 2 starts for the Indians. So there's your setup as it's the final game of the series. A's going for the sweep. A's Indians coming up on Comcast Sportsnet California.
Sportsnet California is brought to you by AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. And by Toyota. Check out the great deals at your local Toyota dealer today.
Lineup cards being exchanged, so we are very close to first pitch this afternoon from the O.co Coliseum. The A's are going for the 3-game sweep of the Cleveland Indians. Game time weather brought to you by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Get to the beach. The admission-free boardwalk is open daily. It's a beautiful day, 65 degrees, little breeze, and plenty of sunshine this afternoon at the ballpark. So, pretty nice day. A day that you can wear shirt sleeves, sunshine, and enjoy yourself.
Unless you're Ken Korak and you can have a blanket around you because the marine layer is a little bit cool. But our partner on the radio side is gradually getting into the good feel today of the nice weather.
Feels warm to me. Here's the lineup this afternoon for the Cleveland Indians. Ezekiel Carrera will lead off in left field. Then the switch hitter Cabrera at short. Chu in right. Santana the DH. He is also a switch hitter. Brantley in center field. Kochman at first. Brent Lillibridge at second. Jack Hanahan and Lou Marson are 8 and 9.
And it will be Jared Parker trying to finish the series on a positive note and for himself pick up a win in the month of August. He is 0-3 in this month, and as we detailed in the open, he has not received a lot of run support. Hopefully that will change today, although Masters is a very tough pitcher for the Indians. But Jared Parker's done his job. It'll be a little bit easier for him if he gets a little bit of run support.
First pitch of the ball game to Ezekiel Carrera is low.
First pitch, 107.
So the A's and the Indians wrapping up the series. Carrera shows bunt and takes the strike. So the A's come in with a 64-55 record, and they are 36-26 at home. So game number 120 of the season. And Carrera is going to have a base hit. Well, he did it just about perfect as far as execution goes. Once you get that bunt past the pitcher, you got a pretty good shot. So Ezekiel Carrera with a bunt single. Here's the defense for the A's this afternoon. Brandon Moss is going to play left field, Chrisman center, Reddick and right. Donaldson, Pennington, Weeks, and Carter in the infield with Derek Norris back behind the plate. So Carrera is aboard. He's very fast, and that'll bring up Asdrubal Cabrera. And Carrera takes off. Throw to second base is just a bit late. A little bit up the line, and it's going to be a stolen base for Carrera. So he did not wait around. He went on the first pitch.
Well, end of the runner, I thought maybe Pennington, as he had done earlier in the series, would be able to tag the backside, but Carrera running all the way. Tag, did he get him? Maybe his hand was already on the bag, as Pennington did tag him on the left leg.
So 1-0 to Asdrubal Cabrera. Fouls it back. Cabrera hitting .284. So it's a pretty close play, but a big jump by Carrera.
Huge jump, and actually the throw not bad. That's the second base umpire, Big Joe West. And Joe assumed, I guess, that the hand was already in the bag. Let's sit in Exmo if that is the case. Is the hand there?
He's out.
He is out, absolutely.
So Exmo brought to you by Cache Creek Casino Resort. So an early break for the Indians, as that was, the replay clearly showed that he was out.
Well, I think that's where the umpire has to really look. And granted, the throw is in to the runner, but because the runner is there about the same time as the ball at second base, you can actually see the tag and his hand. And just a play that the A's would like to have seen go their way, but it didn't.
So 1-2 the count to Asdrubal Cabrera. On deck is Shin-Soo Choo, just underway here from the Coliseum. Cabrera rolls over on it. If he does his job, as he's going to get Carrera to third base with one out.
Got a pretty good pitch to do exactly what he had hoped to do, and that's hit the ball to the right side. A changeup up and away, but considering the fact that it was off speed, he was able to get out in front and pull the ball. Fastball in that same spot. might have been a little bit better if you're trying to prevent the hitter from pulling the ball. Changeup makes it a lot easier.
So here's Chu. A couple of hits in the series, including a home run in the 9th inning last night. Indians made a comeback in that 9th inning, scoring 4 times, but the A's still won the game 8-5. Overall, 15 home runs, 49 runs batted in for the Indians right fielder. Gets jammed a little bit. This one's popped up, and it'll reach the seats.
On these situations where a club is playing the defense back, conceding the run, any ground ball, the runner is scoring from third base. So that's where you like to look at a strikeout pitcher. If you can get a strikeout in this situation, that's the best case scenario. And take a chance with 2 outs with Santana, but Chu usually puts the ball in play.
Chu fouls it straight back, and now Parker can go for the strikeout ahead in the count 1-2.
And he can throw his good changeup, unlike the one he threw to Cabrera.
Runners in scoring position. That number, the average, has gone up recently. It was way down for a good portion of the season. Swing and a miss. He got him, and that's a big strikeout early in the game.
Well, great changeup, and boy, what a great job of pulling the string. Couple of fastballs to Chu, and then right over the top. Watch Chu say, "Here comes a fastball," and changeup down. That's exactly where he wants to throw it. And Chu fooled badly, and a very big out for Jared Parker.
Opponent's average against the changeup.
Well, you can just discount that right now because he threw a great one. So it's 0-0-0 for today, anyway.
For today,
first inning. But it's a pitch he has to throw and continue to throw. I think we've seen a couple of catchers around the league with pitchers has a particular pitch he needs to be able to throw, and they stay with it until they get the feel for it, whether it's a curveball, in this case a changeup for Jared Parker.
1-0 pitch to Santana is low and in. 2-0. Santana hit a home run last night, a solo shot, his 13th of the year. Big swing, and he skies one to left. Brandon Moss out there today, and he's got it. Shades his eyes, side retired. So a nice job of pitching out of an early jam by Jared Parker. Lineup for the Athletics today: Crisp, Donaldson, Reddick, Cespedes, Carter, Moss, Norris, Pennington, and Weeks.
Justin Masterson, former reliever for the Red Sox, traded to the Indians, and he's in the rotation, making his 26th start. He is what they call a slinger. He slings the ball. Actually, the start he had against the Athletics on the 22nd of April had too much movement on his fastball. A two-seamer. He walked 6, and the A's salvaged a win out of that series and defeated Masterson. But a very good two-seam fastball. Low 90s with the fastball, and especially the four-seam. But cutter, slider, changeup. He's got it all, enjoying his time in the rotation.
Foul at the plate. So 1-1 the count to Coco Crisp. Masterson is a big fella. He is 6'6", 250 pounds. 27 years old. Remember when the Indians traded Victor Martinez to the Boston Red Sox in 2009? Got a couple players back, but I think this is the guy the Indians said we have to have a young, big horse pitcher, and they got it in Justin Masterson. Good pitch there, 2-2. Masterson last year had a very good year. He was 12-10. His ERA 3.21, and he pitched 216 innings. So that was kind of the season where he really put it all together. It's his 4th full year in the big leagues. Born in Jamaica.
Amongst some of the good guys from Jamaica, Devon White, Devo, great center fielder, and Chili Davis. Jamaica, man.
Yeah.
Well, you're right about the trade and acquiring Masterson, and the Indians got him to put in the rotation. He was in the bullpen for the Red Sox, but whenever they made the trade, a little tough for him at the time because the Red Sox were having a good season, and Masterson joined a club, the Indians, who were not having a particularly great year. But for him,
Kochman has it.
A chance to start, and sometimes you give up some things, and for him, he's happy to be in the rotation.
Defense for the Cleveland Indians behind Justin Masterson. Carrera, Brantley, and Chu in the outfield. Hanahan, Cabrera, Lillibridge, Kochman on the infield, with Lou Marson doing the catching.
I think when you're as big as Masterson, you shouldn't be allowed to wear your pant legs up high, because it makes you look like Paul Bunyan. I mean, huge.
Big and strong.
His stride takes him right in front of the grass.
Well, he was a high draft pick, 2nd round pick of the Red Sox. Pitched at San Diego State. So they probably went Masterson, and then when his career ended at San Diego State, Strasburg came in.
Yeah. A soft tosser.
Yeah.
With a decent curveball. Josh Donaldson again in the number 2 spot in the batting order for Bob Melvin.
So not a great career record yet, 37-48. But he's got good stuff. There's no doubt about it.
He gets that pitch, he'll have tremendous stuff. A two-seamer outside to Donaldson. Top of pitch that he normally will take to right field, try to get a base hit.
Drops low, full count. Reddick will be next. There's that sinker hit in the hole. Tough play for Asdrubal Cabrera on the run, and they get Donaldson.
Well, the old equalizer, you have a very good sinking fastball, which Masterson does. Ground ball pitcher, you can throw it right down the middle of the plate, take the movement, which that one did, and hitter's going to beat it in the ground. Infielders will stay busy. And Cabrera, unlike last night, this time a good throw, high enough that Kochman could make the play without having to try to take the short hop.
There's the ground ball to fly ball ratio. He's one of those guys, if you said throw the ball straight, he may not be able to. I always wondered why some guys, some pitchers have that great sinker, and then other guys, sinker just doesn't necessarily work for them. I don't know. It must be how they hold the ball,
hold the
arm
ball,
angle.
and both of those. They're just going to say you hit the 2 spots right there. You can hold the baseball to get the movement. Bartolo Colon gets a tremendous amount of movement, more side to side, sometimes down. Masterson with his arm angle. And that's a four-seamer, and it's through it somewhat straight, but with his arm angle and position of his hands, fingers on the baseball, he will get a lot of movement. That's, again, no reason for Marson to throw or have a target anything other than down the middle of the plate.
So full count to Reddick.
You give an outside target, a left-handed batter with a good sinker ball pitcher is going to be a ball. There's no way it's going to stay on the corner, especially with a movement. So, having said that, Josh Reddick should get a fastball right down the middle.
Hits it hard. Kochman goes down to a knee to make the play. So Justin Masterson gets 3 ground ball outs in the first inning. We're headed to the second. No score.
Team with you with MLB.TV. Subscribe today to see every A's out-of-market game live, online, and HD quality. Features include choice of home and away broadcast, multi-game viewing, and the ability to pause and rewind live games. We want to rewind that, and maybe it goes right to Jamal Wicks. Visit OaklandAthletics.com to order MLB.TV. Baseball everywhere. Come on, Mr. Brantley. Got to finish the spot. You can't be swinging first pitch. What's he thinking?
Batting in the
Hitting
sixth
a
position.
series for Brantley.
Location, supposedly outside, supposed to be over the target, but ended up inside part of the plate, and that's why Brantley swung and ended up with a base hit.
So leadoff man on for the second inning in a row for the Indians. And Brantley, a base stealer. He's got 12. He's been thrown out 6 times. Indians come in with a 54-66 record. They've lost 4 in a row. But to stretch that out further, they have lost 17 out of their last 21. Now, part of that was an 11-game losing streak. 17 out of 21. Started out well, but in the month of June they went 12-15. July 11-15. August 4-13.
You saw that 4-game lead in the division back in May. Remember, they came through Oakland in April. They were in the midst of a 7-1 road trip. Ended up losing the series finale. Masterson lost the game. The A's won that one 6-1, 5-1, and the Tribe, good start, but you know, we talk about it, and the A's winning 19 in July is just something you get back in the race. You want to try to sustain that. And for the Indians after May, they just have not been able to do it.
1-1 the count to Kochman with Brent Lillibridge waiting in the on-deck circle. That one's hit to right field, but playable for Reddick. He's got it for out number 1. So that'll bring up Lillibridge.
Giveaway caps there for the young man.
Second baseman, number 1, Frank Lillibridge.
Ken Corrick's got the blanket giveaway over the radio side, so he's utilizing that. I think he keeps the various giveaway items there in case it gets a little chilly up in the booth.
First pitch to Lillibridge is inside. Here's our partner. He's a little chilly this morning, so he thought it was important to get the giveaway blanket out. He looks cute, though, doesn't he, with his blanket on?
Well, the fleece, you know, that makes you feel comfy, you know.
Gotta keep that voice warm.
He was talking about the marine layer, and I said, there's not a cloud in the sky. Come on. It's beautiful.
2-0 to Lillibridge. And now 3-0. Lillibridge had that pinch hit home run. See?
Yeah.
Maybe Ken knows more than we do.
I think they're just proud of the giveaways. You know, they just figured they're going to come out and get the giveaway, and you know, maybe used it for fireworks out on the field and bring it, stay warm, or just move into the sunshine. Get tickets on the third base side.
Yeah, that's true.
Be in the sun all afternoon.
3-1 to Lillibridge with Jack Hanahan in the on-deck circle.
Jared Parker on the 2-0 pitch lifted the leg, so he knew he was just going to try to throw a strike. He does alter his delivery. Higher kick there.
Runner goes, and it's ball 4.
But I don't think it's any surprise that Manny Acta had running in the first inning and trying to get on the board. And Brantley that time 3-1. Really everything to gain, nothing to lose. Just trying to be aggressive if your ball club is not playing well. Indians go to Seattle after this weekend series against the A's.
So here's Hanahan. 0 for 4 in the series is the Indians' third baseman. Swing and a miss on a high changeup. So Parker trying to work his way out of a jam here in the second. He was able to accomplish that in the first inning. And strike called 0-2. So a changeup and then a fastball.
Then I got Jack Hanahan looking, fastball first pitch, pulled the string with a changeup, fooled him, and then came back with a fastball. And still a location. North sets up outside the pitch and down and in. And I think that's one of the things from a catching standpoint for Norris. Where does he give the target? He has good intentions, and he hopes that Parker can follow his lead.
This one's popped up. Another changeup. Pennington shading his eyes. Infield fly rule is called, and that's out number 2.
Starting in the ninth position.
So the ninth place hitter Lou Marson step in.
Lou Marson.
Brantley at second, Lillibridge at first.
And speed on the base, especially Brantley at second. Might see Josh Reddick cheat a little bit in from right field. Would be an opposite field hit by Marson if he goes that direction. Of course, Reddick, a tremendously strong arm. I think these are the times, Cap, that you have to kind of cheat and give up a ball over your head, but take away one that might be hit in front of you, especially for an opposite field hitter.
First pitch a bit outside to Marson. Coco Crisp just shaded over into right center a little bit. It's like Brandon Moss has slid over to his left. And Reddick a bit more shallow in right field. Okay. 1-1.
Andy Fletcher likes the low strike, which is good. It could help Masterson. It's also helpful to Jared Parker. It's pitched down a little bit, but that side angle always shows the ball a little bit higher than what it seems from both dugouts, actually.
Fastball is low, 94 miles an hour.
Wow. We haven't sat down there in a long time, have we, at a game?
I'm game.
Again?
Sure. Foul to the right side. So 2-2 the count.
It's a bad view from our standpoint down in diamond level to broadcast a game, but I think it would be a great promotion to publicize diamond level and show all the food that's available.
And let us talk about it.
Can you imagine going to a game at 8 hours for maybe 3 hours for 9 innings and maybe longer and just eat all you want? That's what you can do in diamond level.
That one chopped toward Pennington, who's got it. Throws to first, and Parker gets out of the jam again. Indians strand a pair. Bottom of the second coming up. No score. Ask Glenn and Ray question mark from Monterey S. Last night you were talking about the 40-man roster in September. What about the idea of having a 30-man out of spring training for a month? All right.
Sorry we brought it up.
Yeah.
Well, they used to have at one time a 27 or 28 roster for the early part of the season. But that question probably comes up because of pitchers maybe not being stretched out enough to pitch deep in games. But I think your idea, Cap, is to stay with the 25 all season, all the way to the end. Play 5, play the 6 as well.
I agree.
But to add 5 more at the beginning of the season, you know, the Players Association would love it because that's 5 more guys in the big leagues for a month.
Bring it out.
I don't think the owners would like to pay the additional money for the extra guys. And if you're going to, in that case, the question, if you're going to increase the roster at the end of the season, better because the players have played the season and maybe a little bit of tiredness. They need some rest, so the extra players allow them to take the rest.
So the leadoff walk to Cespedes brings up Carter.
Batting in the 5th position, first baseman, number 22, Chris Carter.
So Chris Carter been somewhat settling into that 5th spot in the lineup.
So that brings up a good point that when the A's and Mariners went to Tokyo, there was an expanded roster because of the 2 teams going to Tokyo to start the season. You could actually take 30 and pick from the 30. You know, they spend so much time in spring training, and even the pitchers, starters, will pitch enough to build up their arm strength that by the time they make their last start, they're at 100 pitches. So that's really not a negative for anybody coming out of spring training. Most would say that it's too long already.
Yeah.
And they're ready to go much sooner than spring training. Its length is usually for the pitchers to allow them to take the necessary time to build up the arm strength.
Slowly hit down the third base line, and Carter's going to have a base hit. Well, went about 60 feet, but he'll take it.
Our next question: what is a swinging bunt? Well, that's it. That is a massive swing by a 6'4" huge hitter, and he couldn't have rolled it out there more perfectly. Jack Hanahan knew he was not going to be bunting, so Chris Carter, a big swing. And it just rolls, stays on the grass. That's the key. Hanahan knows it's not going to roll foul. He's looking, hoping that it would, but it does not. And so a walk and a 60-foot blast. The A's have first and second.
There's Moss. First pitch outside to Brandon Moss.
You see that delivered from Masterson underneath the ball, and you don't get a lot of sinking action when your elbow drops down and you start pushing the ball. And that's when it stays up too much and out of the strike zone. Ideally, it's when a catcher reminds him, get your elbow up, stay on top of the ball, and keep the ball down.
1-1 now to Moss, hitting .233 with 12 home runs, 25 runs batted in. A couple hits in the series. This one's flared to left center. Brantley coming in, and he was playing a little more shallow than you would think with a power hitter like Moss up, but it helped Brantley there as he makes the catch.
Batting in the 7th position and catching, number 36.
So that'll bring up Derek Norris.
The outfielders also know that Masterson's a ground ball pitcher, and I think because a lot of times they will play a little bit more shallow, figuring that the ball's got to be hit on the ground a lot. And in case they do happen to elevate it, get it in the air. Moss was jammed. Stayed away a couple of pitches. One came in, maybe accidentally, but ended up jamming it.
.202 the average for Norris with 5 home runs. And there's that sinker, and that was a good one on the outside corner. Hit right at the shortstop, and you want a definition of a tailor-made double play, I think that would be it. So the A's do not score, and we are headed to the 3rd. No score. choice last night. Bartolo Colon picked up his 10th win of the season. 8 innings, just a run, 3 strikeouts, 103 pitches, and he was good. Bartolo Colon, a slap of the glove, got a big strikeout late in the game. So Colon got his 10th win. He's now 10-9 on the season. Decent ERA of 3.43.
Still upset that Cliff Pennington asked him if he was tired.
Oh man,
he could have pitched another 3 or 4 innings.
Sure.
I mean, 7-run lead. Why do you want to go out for the 9th inning?
Jamal Weeks bobbles, picks it up, throws in time to get Carrera.
And really, when you see a play like that, you have to wonder if Carrera is running hard out of the batter's box, because with his speed, as you noted the first inning, and Jamal Weeks to bobble the ball, have to pick the ball up, got on the heel of the glove. That's a long time to come up with it, and he gets Carrera by 3 or 4 steps. Never assume anything. You hit a ball, you assume that maybe the ball is going to be caught without a really difficult play. You run hard, you could make it more difficult on the infield. We've seen that with the A's.
First pitch to Asdrubal Cabrera is low. Carrera grounded out in the first inning. His ground out did move Carrera from second to third. Shin-Soo Choo waiting in the on-deck circle. So both teams have had some scoring opportunities early. Indians had 2 on and 1 out in the second. It could not push a run across. Fair ball. Carter grabs it right on the line, steps on the bag, and that's out number 2. A couple of ground ball outs here in the third.
Well, it's nice that Chris Carter is a right-handed fielder, glove on his left hand, able just to reach down with the ball on the line to make the play and get ready for a left-hander to hook the ball. And he hooked it, took it extra bases away from Cabrera.
So the first pitch to Choo is inside. Choo struck out with that runner at third and 1 out, and that was a big out in the first inning. Grounded up the middle. Weeks cannot quite get it, and Choo has a base hit. So that's the 3rd hit in the game for the Indians.
Now batting.
So back to the stretch goes Jared Parker.
Santana.
Well, they gave up a hit at the right time. 2 outs, nobody on base, instead of last inning or the first inning when Choo came up with the runner at third. And Jamal Weeks not leaving his feet. And say, well, if he dives, it's still going to be a base hit. And you see sometimes an infielder will dive and unfortunately get hurt. So there's a right time to dive. It's usually with the runner at second to prevent the ball from going to the outfield. If you know the hitter has speed, you dive, come up with it, it's going to beat it out anyway. Saving the body.
Cleanup hitter Carlos Santana. He's a switch hitter. Better this year as a right-handed hitter, 258. As a left-handed hitter, 226.
With that stance, just hold it. That's hard to keep that stance. That's why he asked for time and got it right before Parker stepped off.
And he lines one toward Coco Crisp in right center. Coco plays it out of high. Choo is going to go to third. So first and third, 2 outs.
Now, one thing we've seen from Santana, he is very aggressive. In this series, pitch outside, similar pitch he hit for a home run, but the leg kick, it's the foot down and extends. And there's not many pitches he does not like to swing at.
So Choo, I don't know why he's looking back. There are 2 outs.
Well, Jared Parker, if he's had a problem this season, it's when he's gotten 2 outs and he's not been able to put away the opposing team. Against the Angels, gave up 4 runs twice, giving up hits with a couple of runners on, 2 outs. outs, 2 quick outs, 2 ground ball outs to start the inning, and then 2 hits, and he's in trouble.
Brantley had a base hit in the second inning. He's 5 for 9 in the series. Changeup on the outside corner, first strike. Brantley's average now up to 296. Just missed inside with a fastball. So a good pitch sequence there. Change up away, then a fastball in.
Hitters like to look fastball in this count. 2-1, 3-1. That's why change up is good.
And there was a changeup. That one was up a little bit.
I think the pattern you try to avoid establishing is that you go fastball, changeup, back and forth. That's why if you can throw multiple changeups in succession, you're going to fool a lot of hitters. Greg Norris telling where he's going to throw if the runner from first takes off.
So the count is even 2-2. That one's bounced toward Weeks. So Parker is going to get out of another jam. The Indians have stranded 5 through the first 3 innings. Bottom of the third coming up. No score. Bottom of the third inning, no score between the Indians and the Athletics. Indians have had all kinds of chances to score, but Parker's made the big pitch when he needs to. Hayes had a good opportunity in the second inning. 2 on, nobody out, but could not score. So Pennington, Weeks, and Crisp. Pennington hitting 197 with 3 home runs. 18 runs batted in. 1 for 6 in the series with a couple of RBIs and a couple of stolen bases. Game we're going to watch again today, the Rays and the Angels. They're underway. Rays with a 4-1 lead in the 4th inning. Rays scored 4 times in the second inning. First inning. So 4 times in the first inning. Pennington's aboard.
Well, after the Angels had an 8-0 lead, And the Rays beat them 10-8 last night.
Unbelievable.
Carlos Pena with his first pinch hit home run.
Second baseman, number 19, Jamal.
Things are going right for the Tampa Bay Rays, and last night, great example of a team that's not quitting and believe they can win no matter what.
Now, the Angels have given up 29 runs in the first 3 games of that series. So Trout homered for the Angels in that game. Rays leading 4-1. Weeks with the bunt. And so Pennington's going to get to second. It'll be a sacrifice for Weeks.
Now batting.
So the A's have a runner in scoring position with 1 out for Coco Crisp.
Coco Crisp.
Some might think that Jamal Weeks has given himself up and granted the sacrifice, put a runner in scoring position with 1 out. But I think that what he is doing is utilizing his speed. He's going to get to the point where he can bunt like Carrera did in the first inning and get the ball by the pitcher, and he's going to get some base hits. But he needs to take advantage of the speed he has. And I think starting to bunt as much as he is now, maybe especially hitting down 9th in the batting order, well, it's going to help out.
First pitch to Coco Crisp is called a strike. Coco bounced out to Kochman at first. Bounces one that way, foul. So the count 0-2. That big series in Detroit is over. The Orioles and the Tigers and Baltimore won today 7-5. So the Orioles go into Detroit and take 2 out of 3.
Amazing.
So that's a good series if you're an Orioles fan. Not an easy place. Place was full all 3 games in Detroit. But Orioles win 2 out of 3.
Well, the White Sox very happy the Orioles did that because Jeremy Guthrie, who we saw pitching in Kansas City, another good day today against the White Sox in Kauffman Stadium.
1-2 pitches rolled foul. Yeah, Guthrie had a no-hitter through 6 innings. Lost it. The Royals now leading 5-2 in the 9th inning. Not good news though for the Petaluma Little League. They lost today 9-6 to the team from Tennessee. So they will have to get right back after it tomorrow. Again, that's double elimination. So they cannot lose tomorrow. If they do, they will be heading home. Watch that one.
Johnny Goins sitting now in Steve Vucinich's office. That's kind of the congregating area. The game was on TV. Johnny had his West cap on and his West jersey on, watching the game. Very proud of his hometown Petaluma, the Petaluma National Little League team. And he will continue to watch them. Hope they come out victorious.
That's a base hit to right field. Here comes Pennington, and Chu's not even going to make a throw. So the A's get the first clutch hit in the game, and they lead 1-0.
Couple of guys real happy about Jamal Weeks with the sacrifice, putting Pennington in scoring position, and then Coco Crisp, a great at bat, started 0-2, no stride, upper body, and hits it hard enough past Kochman at first base into right field for a run-scoring single. Cliff Pennington with the ball on the ground, taking off immediately, knowing Mike Diag was going to send him no throw from Chu, and the A's score first. But you know, it's really not a bad idea, and what Jamal Weeks did. Stay at first base. You have a chance with a single ball pitcher to hit into a double play.
Brantley, the center fielder, racing in. He's got it. Donaldson is out.
So Jamal gives himself up. Gets a sacrifice, and that is a leadoff walk, sacrifice, RBI single.
Number 16, Josh
Take that a lot.
Reddick.
So here's Reddick, grounded out in the first inning. He was our post-game guest last night after a big RBI double.
Said he's feeling a lot better. Even today felt better after a good night's sleep.
Well, the story I read was there was a little infection in that area where the tooth was extracted, so that see where that would cause some pain.
That was a big double last night. Great approach from Josh Reddick, and one that, with the runner in scoring position, able to drive him in with an opposite field double.
So 2-1 now to Reddick. A run in on the Coco Crisp RBI single.
Cap, I think the thing with so much video now, and Adam Roden would take that shot of Reddick last night as we just showed.
Coco takes off and the ball's fouled straight back.
But a hitter can look at that, and Reddick, as we saw, instead of opening up, he drove the ball to left center. And that's a case where you can look at something like that as a hitter and say, that's what I want to do. I want to try to be consistent with that same approach. A lot of technology that's able to be used in today's game to really help players, whether pitchers or position players, hitters, and take advantage of it.
Reddick skies one. So Brantley's been busy. He is back and to his left. He's got it side retired. A run and the leadoff walk scores. So the A's lead 1-0.
Authentic game used and autographed memorabilia in the Westside Club of the Coliseum. Items include autographed baseballs and jerseys, game used helmets, bats, jerseys, and bases, lineup cards, and more. All items are authenticated under the MLB Authentication Program. A portion of the proceeds will benefit the Oakland A's Community Fund.
A's with a 1-0 lead, top of the fourth inning. Kochman, Lillibridge, and Hanahan for the Indians. A walk and a strikeout so far for Parker. He's allowed 4 hits. Weeks stays down on that one. And that's out number 1.
Well, 3 innings for Jared Parker, and he's gotten out of jams in each of the 3, and started in the first inning. That's Santana with the 3rd out, and then this the big out, a ground out by Marson. That was in the 2nd inning, and last inning, Brantley with a ground ball to Jamal Weeks. How about a very easy 1-2-3 inning, Jared? You've had enough trouble for 3.
5 stranded so far for the Indians. First pitch to Lillibridge. Trickle foul down the third baseline. First place Rangers won today 11-2 in Toronto. Texas gets a win. They take 2 out of 3 in Toronto. They're now going to go home for a long homestand.
Did I read that Jose Bautista's out on a rehab assignment? He may be activated pretty soon.
Yeah. Fortunately for Blue Jays, really too late. But
fastball left up and away to Littlebridge off Jerry Blevins, and ended up being a home run. A 4-run 9th inning for the Indians made it a much closer game than what the score would indicate, especially in the first inning when it was, or the 9th inning was 8-1, and then they made it an 8-5 game.
So Littlebridge gets that home run. He gets a start today at second base. Kipnis is getting the afternoon off. Kipnis was 0 for 8 in the series. One-two pitch, outside corner, strike 3 call. So strikeout number 2 for Parker.
If Jared Parker watched Bartolo Colon last night, which these young kids have watched him, that's the pitch there. The little two-seamer starts outside corner, comes back, and Derek Norris keeping it in the strike zone. And not surprising that Littlebridge, a right-hander, gave up on the right-hander throwing the pitch to the outside part of the plate.
22% changeups for Parker. And there's one there, and it catches the inside corner.
Just a small percentage of curveballs and sliders, mostly fastball changeups. Changeup being his second best pitch.
He jumps ahead of Hanahan. Hanahan popped out to the shortstop. He did that with 2 on and 1 out in the second inning. Oh, 0-2 pitch. Reached for, poked to left. Moss is there, and it is a 3-up, 3-down inning for Parker, his first of the game. Bottom of the 4th coming up. Cespedes to lead it off, 1-0 A's. Off home run. Who are the other 2 players to homer in the A's-Royals game on September 4th of 2002? That was the A's 20th straight win. So 2 other players.
Mike Sweeney.
Could have been a Royal.
From the Royals.
Cespedes to lead things off, 1-0. The A's lead. First pitch is a bit low. followed by Carter and then Moss.
I like the trickiness of that question.
That is a good question.
Misleading, thinking, oh, what other A's players hit home runs?
Huh? Maybe nobody.
That's right.
Ryan Roberts hit a 2-run homer off Zach Greinke for the Rays. Rays now leading 6-1 over the Angels in the 5th inning. Cespedes walked leading off the 2nd inning. Big swing and a miss, 2-2. Cespedes goes for a little walk.
I think they're seeing him do that instead of trying to hang on to the bat, just kind of going with it. Remember, he hurt his hand, put himself on the disabled list because of it.
And that one hit hard. The second baseman Lillibridge was shaded over to his right, and the ball was right at him. So Cespedes hit it hard again, but he's out. And that'll bring up Carter.
Now batting first baseman, number 22, Chris Carter.
Carter had a base hit in the 2nd inning. It was not a line shot by any means. It was a swinging bunt. Rolled down the third baseline, stayed fair. So 0-1 the count to Carter. His average now at 280 with that hit. Woo. To pitch a fastball with pretty good action on it at 95 miles an hour, and on 3 pitches Carter is gone.
If you aren't an A's season ticket holder, you can still get 2012 postseason rights. Just place a deposit on 2013 A's ticket plan. For more information, call 510-638-GO-A's or go to oaklandathletics.com/deposit. And yes, folks, August the 19th, the A's still in contention. Playing well.
Sorry, right?
You think about it, the June 30th, the A's 13 behind the Rangers and starting play today, 5 behind Texas. And with the Angels having a tough time down in Anaheim with the Rays in town. Remember, I think the last 3 games of the season are against Texas right here. Right? Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah.
That would be a lot of fun.
Just over the bag, but it's foul, says Rob Drake. Let's check out these updated standings in the West and the wild card. The Rangers have already won. In that wild card, the Orioles have won their game. So the A's now a full game behind the Orioles. Tigers lost, so they're now 2 back. That's 2 back of the 2nd wild card team. And the Rays are the top wild card team right now. A's will be in St. Petersburg to take on those Rays Thursday, Friday, and Saturday of this week. That one's ripped to right, and that baby is gone. 2-0 Athletics.
Started his swing on a slider, checked it, and came back, got a fastball belt high, and he absolutely crushes it. What a great swinging Exmo, and it's amazing. The slider missed down and in, and could have been that Moss just reacted on the fastball. It was elevated by Masterson, or he thought he missed with the slider. Going to try to throw a 2-seamer. It stayed straight, and Brandon Moss continues with a career best, now 13 home runs.
And obviously, Masterson, a guy who does not give up a lot of home runs. But that one was up.
Well, in April, That was almost the identical ball that Seth Smith hit on Hyundai Sunday. That was his first home run as a member of the Athletics. Now the right field line, a 2-run shot. So with Seth Smith on the disabled list, Brandon Moss, more opportunities. And just thinking about that with Seth Smith starting maybe very soon on his rehab assignment, that both Moss and Carter in the lineup, they've been platooning at first base, but today Moss in the outfield where he's a little bit more comfortable. And a big hit.
Strike 3 call to Norris. So Derek Norris is retired, but Brandon Moss, his 13th home run of the year. So the A's now lead 2-0 after 4. Answer, besides Scott Hedberg's walk-off home run, who were the other two players to homer in the A's-Royals game on September 4th of 2002? That was the night the A's the 20th straight win. John Mayberry hit a solo home run in the second. Mike Sweeney hit a big 3-run homer in the 8th.
Probably the biggest, because it got the Royals very close to the Athletics after being down 11-0.
Lou Marson leading things off here in the 5th inning. Marson fouls it right at the plate. So 1-1 the count. Marson grounded out to short to end the 2nd inning. That came with runners at 1st and 2nd. Shelly Duncan was in the lineup the first 2 games of the series. He's getting the afternoon on. Good pitch there at the knees, 1-2.
They started against Cologne last night. So for Shelly Duncan, who hit the slam against the left-hander Malone on Friday, again against the right-hander Cologne last night, but not playing this afternoon. I think Manny acted just trying to put guys in the lineup, try to do something since the struggles have continued for the Indians.
Well, it's got to be frustrating for a whole organization because it really, Ray, it happened to the Indians last year as well.
Yeah.
Remember where they played pretty well up until the last couple months of the season, and then they just could not get things going. Donaldson has it, throws in time. Marson's retired. I mean, last year the Indians had the best record in the major leagues at the end of May.
Yeah.
Now batting, Number 12.
But then in the second half, they went 33 and 40 and kind of fell out of the race. The same thing is happening this year.
So I was not wrong back my brother and I played in Cleveland, where we started the season in last place and we never moved. We just kind of stayed there.
Yep.
We didn't have those spurts at the beginning and at the end. It's just a little bit different now in the new stadium.
Wow. Where's that guy sitting?
He liked the championships. He didn't like the last place Indians. It's why he's not wearing the jersey.
Ezekiel Carrera fly ball to center field. And that's out number 2. 6 in a row retired by Jared Parker after pitching through a lot of traffic in the first 3 innings.
Coco's very familiar with the tough sun here at the Coliseum, kind of turning his head to the side, using his glove to shade his eyes. He has the sunglasses on, and you wait when this ball comes out of the sun and make the catch. Something that Adam Rosales would love to have had against the Blue Jays. The ball never came out of the sun. When that doesn't come out, you can't catch it.
First pitch. Cabrera swings at an off-speed pitch, dribbles one out in front. Parker picks it up, flips to first. Side retired. Sportsnet California is brought to you by Premium Rush, in theaters August 24th. Beautiful day in the Bay Area. The A's with a 2-0 lead, bottom of the 5th. The A's are going for the 3-game sweep of the Indians. So Cliff Pennington's going to lead it off. Be followed by Weeks and then Crisp. First pitch to Pennington is lined over a leaping Cabrera. So Pennington has a base hit. I said earlier in the show that Pennington walked leading off the 3rd inning. He was actually hit by a pitch. So he's been on base twice.
Well, that's what was clarified. I had it down for a walk also. But Pennington swinging the bat, getting on base, and he's trying to make things happen, especially leading off this inning as he did the 3rd inning. Where was he hit, by the way?
In the foot, I think. Pennington later scored on the Crisp base hit in that 3rd inning. That was the first run of the game for the A's. And then Brandon Moss's solo homer, 2 outs last inning, made it 2-0. Weeks once again. This is a good one. It's picked up by Hanahan. His throw late. And Weeks bunting for the second time in a row. This time he gets the base hit.
Look at this skipper, this smile. He might have been doing it on his own. You never know, but definitely successful. He was the first time a run scored. This time an even better. Boy, that bunt kind of reminds me of Hall of Famer Rod Carew. You have absolutely no chance to throw him out with that kind of a bunt. Just deaden it towards third base. Exmo, the speed of Jemiah Weeks, the throw, not in enough time. So giving himself up, and he gets himself on with a great bunt. And maybe that's the beginning of a new Jemiah Weeks. Forget about trying to hit home runs. He hit 2 in the beginning of the season, hasn't hit 1 since, but his bunting now twice is spectacular.
So Coco Crisp steps in. Hanahan is playing in, and so is first baseman, but this one's hit to right, down the line, and that baby is gone. A 3-run homer for Coco Crisp, and it's 5-0 Athletics.
Where did you say Hanahan was playing?
Kochman and Hanahan were 3 steps in on the ground.
Coco had one reviewed in Kansas City. No reviewing on this one. Masterson, little two-seamer inside half the plate and right down the line. High trajectory and inside the pole. And a 3-run home run. Fun part about that was just seeing all the dances at the end of the home run and home plate in the dugout. Choreographed. I wonder if he was given the bunt sign. He was talking to manager Bob Melvin after he got back to the dugout. Melvin, after Weeks had bunted perfectly, had a smile on his face, giving signs to Mike Gallego, but maybe gave him a home run sign.
0-2 pitch. Missed inside, I guess.
Yeah. There we go. Oh, have times changed.
Big chopper toward Lillibridge. That is the first out of the inning. So Donaldson is retired. So single home run for Coco Crisp, and it is 5-0.
Now batting, right fielder.
Bossy Posse back. That's good. Where are they sitting tonight? It looks like they're.
Oh, boy.
Sitting out in right center, I believe. Oh, yeah, way out in right center. Oh, 1 to Reddick. Reddick a ground out and a fly out so far. There's our gang, Fosse Posse, with the.
Oh, that's right.
That,
and the lady with the mustache.
I believe they're going for the Ray Fosse look, which is a look of sophistication. The silver hair.
Oh, that's funny. She's not smiling. She didn't want to lose her fake mustache. Yeah.
Exactly. You got to be careful with those. Well, you know what they say about imitation, right? So Reddick strikes out for the second out here in the 5th inning. The gentleman on the right, he likes to eat. My partner likes to eat.
How about a designated hitter, number 52, Johannes.
I think they're going to contact. Maybe they want better seats.
Move around a little bit, I guess. Two outs for Cespedes. Hit inside to Jonas, who has walked and grounded out so far in the game. Look at the ERA here at the Coliseum for Masterson. And you know what? You and I have both said it many times. We think the guy's pretty good, but he has struggled against the Athletics.
And even though this is a pitcher's park for a lot of reasons, if you're a ground ball pitcher, it doesn't matter where you pitch.
That one's hit well to right center. And that one is off the wall, and Cespedes eases into second with a double. So the 4th hit in the inning for the Athletics.
Steve Smith, the third base coach for Maniac, not much you can say because the two-seam fastball that's elevated straightens out, and Cespedes, it's fun to watch a ball like that because he has a great approach, outside pitch, goes with it to the opposite field. And from our vantage point, the ball just kept going. Nobody was going to catch it. And a 2-out double.
So 7 hits now for the A's. Will Rogers is going to start to throw. So here's Carter. First pitch slider outside to Carter, who has singled and struck out. 3 for 7 in the series with a couple of walks. Outside corner for a strike. How about this stat on Chris Carter? Leads the major leagues in walks since the All-Star. That's amazing.
That's the same guy who's swinging at everything when he came up the last couple of times.
There's a line drive, but foul. Carter's going to get a new piece of lumber.
Coco, a 3-run home run, second in the month of August. Remember all the home runs talking about the A's hitting. And in July and August, just 5 3-run shots, but solos and 2-run shots and occasional slam.
Slider on 1-2, and Carter strikes out. Side retired. Big inning thanks to Coco Crisp, who hits a 3-run homer, his 7th home run of the year. So we have played 5 innings here at the Coliseum. A's with a 5-0 lead. With a couple of home runs today. I would say the bash is back. Certainly in the last couple months, A's have been hitting home runs like crazy.
Well, I think you said it best in our open, and maybe the A's listen. The need for run support for Jared Parker. How many runs? 14 runs, and so far they've added 5 in this game in support of their starter. So that's good news for Jared Parker, especially since he's now retired 7 in a row.
64 pitches through 5 innings for Parker. He got a lot of help in the 4th and 5th when he's retired the side in order in both those innings. So that has slowed down the pitch count for him. It was a little high early. So 1-2 the count to Chu, who has a strikeout and a single in the ball game. Up and in. Santana will be next, and then Brantley. Foul back. Angels have picked up a run. It's the Rays 6, the Angels 2 in the 6th inning. Changeup, but Chu, who swung and missed at that pitch in the 1st inning, watches this one drop low. That one bounced into right field, the base hit. So Chu has a leadoff single. He's 2 for 3.
Chevrolet is driving more value this season with Chevy free parking Tuesdays. Every Tuesday home game, with the exception of premium games and dual events at the arena, you'll pay nothing to park, courtesy of Chevy. See your Northern California Chevy dealer for their award-winning lineup of Chevy cars, trucks, and crossovers. For more information, visit OaklandAthletics.com/Tuesday, and we'll see you here Tuesday on the Minnesota Twins. And welcome back, Josh Willingham. A great season for the Twins in his first year of free agency with Minnesota. Eclipsed his career best in home runs as he reached the 30 mark. And in that park, as we have seen, the ball does not travel that well, but Josh Willingham has made target field small.
The Twins are in Seattle. The Mariners with a 2-1 lead in the 5th inning. And the Mariners are going for the sweep of that series. Seattle's playing well. They have won 4 games in a row. And they are 7 games under 500, so you can pretty much figure out what their goal is. And they've, in some strange way, they played a lot better since the trade of Ichiro. Now, I don't want that to sound like we're criticizing Ichiro, but they have.
Yeah, they have, and I think too, Kuip, as we talked about the Indians, the Twins, teams that really, as you look at their season, they're out of any possibility of contention.
Long run for Moss. He's going to get there, and he makes the catch. Step into foul territory. Santana is retired.
Long run for Moss. Settled once he got to the foul line, picked the ball up, got his feet under him, and made a nice catch. That's a long run, and well, you're just hopeful to be able to get to the ball so you can slow down, almost stop to get under the ball, and that's the reason you sprint to the ball and then stop. Nice play. But I think clubs that really know that it's, well, last year there were some miracles, but Seattle, Minnesota, Cleveland, just 3 mentioned, that they're playing a lot and playing loose. Makes a big difference.
Pennington fighting that sun, and he hangs with it, and he makes the catch. So that's out number 2. Wasn't easy.
Nice play staying with the fly ball and looking up into the sun, shading his eyes, waiting for it to come out, and finally does. And then the natural reaction to look up like there's no sun. It's there, and it's a tough one, especially on the left side, but he did it perfectly. Ball came out of the sun. That's the key, and that's what they're looking into, and that's what they're hoping white baseball doesn't stay in that.
Weeks dives, cannot quite get it, so Kochman has a base hit. Heading around to third is Chu. So again, a couple of base runners for the Indians.
Chu hit a similar ball in the third inning. Remember, Jamal Wicks did not dive this time. He was hoping to dive for the ball off Kochman's bat and maybe force Chu at second base. So after Santana popped up to the left fielder, then it's been Brantley and now Kochman. So 3 consecutive pitches all put in play by the Indians, and they have first and third. Once again, 2 outs.
So Lillibridge is the hitter. First pitch is in there for a strike to Lillibridge, who has walked and struck out. Blackley starting to stretch out. Kochman short lead at first. Chu over at third. It's bounced. Pennington in the hole. He'll go to second. Side retired. So 7 runners stranded now by the Indians through 6 innings. 5-0 A's. Back to the Coors Light 6th inning. It's time for the Coors Light Freeze Can. Coors Light Freeze Can is brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. It's the world's most refreshing beer. Bottom of the 6th inning from the Coliseum. 5-0 the A's lead. What was going on next door?
Quack. I don't know. I guess he'd like the beat of the music with his blankie.
A little dance party going on over there. Ice Ice Baby by the great Vanilla Ice being played.
Quack must have liked it.
Something to see, I tell you. These crazy radio guys get a dance-a-thon going on over there. It gets much more subdued over here in the TV booth.
We don't need blankies.
Into right field, Moss has another hit, and he's 2 for 3.
Well, just like in the 4th inning, a 2-2 pitch. This time a base hit, but in the 4th inning, a 2-2 fastball. Masterson elevated it, not much sink on it except a quick shot into the right field bleachers, making it 2-0. And again, another hit. Tell you, Kipe, I know that you've had the opportunity to see Brandon Moss. You talk about somebody who's always up.
Sure is.
He said, living the life. I mean, and it is. It's a dream to play at Major League Baseball. And for the opportunities he has had and taking advantage of this one, swinging the bat great. just can't wait to come to the park every day with a smile on his face and trying to do something special and contribute to the success of the club. I like guys like that.
1-0 to Derek Norris. Now 2-0. So Rogers gets up again. Masterson has thrown 90 pitches. He had a 3-up, 3-down first inning. 3 ground ball outs. Stuff was good. But since then, the A's have been all over. Two-0 to Norris, who has hit into a double play and struck out. Chops this one fine.
We were talking earlier and showing the numbers for Masterson, the struggles he has had here at the Coliseum. Remember Mark Burley with the White Sox? That poor guy, I mean, he pitched a perfect game, a no-hitter. He'd come to the Coliseum, and it was like inevitable. Something was going to happen when he was on the mound. And you combine that with Ozzie Guillen, who was his manager. And now they're together again with the Marlins, but he just never had any success here. And when he did, it was very rare.
And he's still a very good pitcher.
But maybe he signed to the National League just to get away from Oakland.
Yeah, maybe. Runs inside to Norris. So a full count with nobody out. Moss at first.
Well, ground ball pitcher, stay out of the double play, so you think that maybe Moss will be on the move. Norris hit the ball very hard in the inning that you talked about, the second one, as a leadoff walk, hard hit ball to shortstop for a 6-4-3 double play.
Runner goes, and the ball's fouled out in front of home plate. Pennington will be next. Another game 2, Ray, at least so far, where the bottom of the A's lineup has done a fair amount of damage. See, Coco Crisp is in the leadoff spot as the 4 RBIs, but if your leadoff man is getting 4 RBIs, well, that usually means the bottom of the order is on base.
That's a great point. 3 runs scored by Pennington and Weeks.
Yeah. And Moss hitting the 6th spot, but he's got the home run and the single. So we'll do the 3-2 count again. Not running this time, and Norris swings and misses. So Norris strikes out for the 2nd time, and that's 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th.
Now batting, shortstop.
Turbo sinker, and kind of a late swing by Derek Norris, thinking maybe he's going to be out of the strike zone. Then the ball took a sharp downward spiral.
So Pennington steps in. Pennington has been hit by a pitch and singled. He scored twice, so it's good to see Cliff Pennington part of the scoring. For somebody like Pennington, Ray, it's middle of August. So is he going to get his average up to 260, 270? No, he's not. But doesn't mean you can't have a strong final 6 weeks. Kochman charges. He's going to gun it to second. They'll get the out there. So fielder's choice for Pennington.
Still say that if you play on a team that's successful, I think you can throw out the averages. You just see what a player can do to help a club win. Pennington on base twice today. He scored 2 runs. And granted, you want to just look at the batting average. It's been down all season for him. But getting a chance to play, he can help defensively. And the more he plays, the better he feels about his game. And he's going to play the way everybody expects him to, especially defensively. And down at the bottom of the batting order, Jamal Weeks now is going to be forced to swing the bat, unlike the first 2 times when he sacrificed. Brandon Inge got to be ready to come off the DL in about a week, but Josh Donaldson has filled in nicely.
Seth Smith is going to start a rehab very soon. Sounds like the A's will have an announcement on Brett Anderson as well. Announcement as far as, well, what are they going to do with him? That one hit toward left, and that's going to drop fair, and that's going to head into the corner. Pennington around third. He's going to come in to score. And the A's lead 6-0. So Weeks slices one the other way, and it got into the corner. And once that happened, there's any question that Pennington was going to score.
And Cap, the ball hit something because it looked like Carrera's going to be able to get to it, cut the ball off, but it hit something, took an immediate left turn down into the corner. But great approach by Jamal Weeks. So the fastball stayed inside the ball. See if we can see where the ball lands and how it just shoots off towards the corner. And at that point, Carrera could not get to it, and all the while Pennington able to score from first.
So Masterson is done. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change, tune-up, and smog experts.
Presented by authority of the Oakland Athletics and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Athletics Investment Group, LLC.
Well, that youngster's ready to roll.
Now batting, center fielder, number 4, Coco.
Spent a little time getting that ready. So here's Esmil Rogers. Those numbers are combined between the Rockies and the Indians. He was acquired from Colorado on the 13th of June.
Mid-90s fastball, 2 and 4 seam with a cutter, slider, and changeup. Another power arm out of a bullpen. One more, you're seeing that with clubs. The guys could throw the hardest. Bring them out of the bullpen and let it go. Air it out.
First pitch to Coco is a strike at the knees. Well, Rogers' ERA with the Rockies this year was 8.06. His ERA here in the National League is 2.53, or in the American League is 2.53. So he's done a nice job with the Indians. Towards center, Brantley coming in. He'll play it on a hop. Weeks comes around third. He will score, and it's 7-0. Have a day, Coco Chris. He's got 5. That's right, 5 RBIs.
And another flat-footed swing and a ball center field. And Brantley, I assume, considering the couple of outs, that he didn't think he could get to it. Great swing by Coco, and again, to use just the upper body to drive the ball as far as he does. And Brantley came in and watch him just back off right there. And of course, he catches it. Inning's over, and A's don't score. But those 5 runs that he's driven in, Kai, said it best. Bottom of the batting order, bottom 2. Pennington and Weeks have scored 5 times.
His 5th career 5 RBI game for Coco Crisp. Here's Donaldson. Now let's not forget, Coco Crisp last night in the 8th inning had a 2-run triple. So he's got 7 RBIs in his last 5 at bats. That's not bad. That would fit on Coco. Yes, indeed. Donaldson today has grounded out twice and hit a fly ball to center field. So the A's have added a pair of runs here in the 6th inning. So 1 in the 3rd, 1 in the 4th, 3 in the 5th, 2 in the 6th. Donaldson rips one to left. That's going to get down. Coco Crisp flying around second, digging for third, and they're going to hold him up. So Donaldson has a double, and there is some really loud contact being made right now by the Athletics.
Very hard hit balls, and really appreciate what Coco Crisp does in great hitting as Donaldson gets a high fastball down the left field line. But Coco Crisp is running like he wants to score, and even though the ball was hit very hard and Carrera played it perfectly off the wall, it came back to him. But Coco was running hard to Mike Gallego and had to stop, but tremendous speed. And he is taken off, and once he rounded second, he's thinking, got to score. As he knows, and everybody knows, scoring runs the most important thing about a position player.
So Reddick swings at the first pitch, rolls one to Kochman, steps on the bag, side, retired. 2 runs on 4 hits for the Athletics. It's now 7-0 A's after 6. This day 10 years ago, the A's historic 20-game win streak hit win number 6. It was the start of that famous 10-game road trip in Cleveland. Couple of home runs for Eric Chavez. Tim Hudson got win number 10. Pitched into the 9th inning, struck out 6. So the win streak, hey, that was Coco Crisp right there. The win streak was now at 6 games. So, Ray, that was game 1 of that 10-game road trip.
I bet they went all over
Cleveland, Detroit.
Yeah.
And what was the last stop?
I don't think Paul's long enough to let it tell us.
They did win them all, no doubt about that. Kansas City. There's your 10-gamer. Jared Parker has 7 runs to work with. 7-0, 7th inning.
Being shut out the last 2 times, he does not know how to react, although he's pitching very well. Probably the most important thing today, he has been in trouble about 4 different times with 2 outs, but he's not given up the big hit. Something that he's had a problem this season, but tonight, or today that is, he is handling those situations very nicely.
One-two pitch to Hanahan, foul straight back. Hanahan is 0 for 2 today and 0 for 6 in the series. Down the left field line, that should reach the seats in it. Rays still leading the Angels 6-2. 7th inning. Mariners leading the Twins 2-1 in the 6th. Coco Crisp fighting that sun, still fighting it, and he makes the catch. Hang in there, Coco Crisp. So that is out number 1. Looking back at the pregame ceremony yesterday, honoring and enjoying one of the members of that 20-game win streak. He was pretty important. The manager, Art House, Scott Hatterberg, of course.
Yeah, it was very emotional with Corey Lano and the son of Corey. Too young.
A's averaged 7.1 runs per game during that 20-game win streak.
Now batting, number 12.
So they pounded some teams.
You're going to score 7+ and only give up 2.5. You're going to win a lot. And saw Tim Hudson winning a game in Cleveland on the anniversary date, and he was outstanding and still pitching very strong for the Atlanta Braves. Back home out in Georgia.
Nice play by Carter. Reaching to his left, and Parker has a 3-up, 3-down inning. 7th inning stretch coming up. 7-0 A's.
California is brought to you by Chevrolet and their award-winning cars, trucks, and crossovers, and by Jack in the Box. Get the all-American Jack Combo at Jack in the Box. It's a no-nonsense burger with fries and a drink for only $4.99 plus tax at participating stores.
beautiful day. And the A's going for the sweep. They lead 7-0, bottom of the 7th inning. So they're 6 outs away from finishing off the sweep of the struggling Cleveland Indians. So Cespedes will lead it off against Esmil Rogers, who took over from Masterson. So Masterson gave up all 7 runs in 5 2/3 innings. Breaking ball is high. Told you about the Texas Rangers winning their game today, 11-2 in Toronto. Rangers had 19 hits in that game. Big offensive series for the Athletics with the 21-run score. So they had a little lull offensively on the road trip, but bounced back in this series. Two now to Cespedes. The winning pitcher for the Rangers today was Matt Harrison. He's now 14-7.
Good slider from the right-hander, and you saw Masterson when he pitched his best. The slider was working, especially against the right-handers. Sinker was not probably as consistent as he wanted it.
High fastball, foul back. So 2-2 the count. Cespedes a walk, a ground out, and a double. There's a hanger, and Cespedes fouled it back.
20 innings, Diamond Vision. They were showing a young lady celebrating her 90th birthday today. And I guess if you turn 90 and you want to go to a baseball game, you're going to go.
Sure.
We only hope that when we turn 90, we can be at a baseball game.
Yep. Another foul ball by Cespedes. Carter will be next, and then Moss for the Athletics here in the 7th. This one's popped up to shallow right center where Lillibridge drifts back. The second baseman has it. So 1 out, and let's get to our Chevron pitching matchup for tomorrow's game against the Twins. So the Twins in town. Ryan Dunsing, the left-hander, will start. It's his 9th start this year. He's pitched a lot out of the Brandon McCarthy.
Number 22.
A very good ERA. So that is tomorrow night, 6:30. Our coverage starts here on Comcast Sportsnet, California. So the Twins in town. Twins have lost 4 in a row. Swing and a miss by Chris Carter, 95 miles an hour from Roger. Rest of the series will be pulled to freeze. The right-hander, A's have seen him a couple times against Straley, and then Blackburn and Malone on Wednesday, which will be a day game. And Wednesday will be radio only. Road trip to St. Petersburg and then Cleveland.
The A's will have to play 3 more games indoors, and Tropicana Field doesn't retract. So those are 3 games against the Rays starting next Thursday. That will be indoors exclusively, although with the heat and humidity outside, not a bad idea, and possible rain. But nothing better than this afternoon with the beautiful Sunday afternoon. Clear skies.
Carter lines one over the head of Carrera in left center. And Chris Carter has his 2nd hit. This is a line drive double.
Both of them are line drives in the paper tomorrow. That 60-foot shot down the third baseline, but this just shows the quickness And Keith, I think you said it best when you're looking at the number of walks since the All-Star break. But what he's able to do when he gets a fastball 3-1, recognizes the pitch, and a solid swing from the big right-hander. And that ball just shot over the head of Guerrero. Looked like he had a chance maybe to catch up to it, but over and one hop off the wall very quickly.
So Moss steps in. 12 hits today for the Athletics. Moss, homer and a single. Counting the doubles for the A's today. 1, 2, 3. So 4 doubles and a couple of home runs. Hard breaking ball down and in. Moss swings and misses. The A's have hit 8 doubles in this series. They got a triple in the series. And they got 3 home runs in the series. And same pitch, and Moss swings and misses. Way down and in. So that's the second out here in the 7th.
Well, just a different type of slider from this right-hander than Masterson. Masterson threw the slider that Moss held up to swing, then hit a home run on a fastball. This one, though, swung over it.
So Norris steps in. Norris has not been able to join into the hit parade today. He has hit into a double play and struck out twice. So 2-0 now to Norris.
This is the part of the game that you mentioned about Derek Norris. He is 0 for, hit the ball hard in the double play, but he's caught 7 shutout innings, and that's the great thing about being a catcher. The 2 sides of the game, hitting and catching, handling the pitching staff. You can have an 0 for 4 and be a little bit upset offensively, but if the pitcher does a great job, you contributed to the success of the pitcher and the team for the win, it makes the day just as good.
The 3-0 pitch is inside, and it's the walk. So 2 on, 2 out. Second walk issued by Indians pitchers.
Now batting shortstop, number 2.
Indians with the second worst team ERA in the American League. 4.79. That will go up today.
They will go to Seattle on Tuesday. They will get to face Felix Hernandez. Always fun. And he will try to tie Johnny Vandermeer.
That's right. First pitch is low to Pennington.
3 perfect games in one season. That's just really unheard of. And you think there's been, what, 24 total now?
Yeah.
In the history of Major League Baseball, and they have 3 of those in the one season. Still a month and a half to go.
Well, Guthrie had a no-hitter today through 6 innings. Not a perfect game. Another ball. 2-1 the count.
Talked to Rick Riz, the radio voice of the Mariners, who called the perfect game, and he said everything Felix Hernandez threw from pitch number 1 to the end was unhittable, which obviously it was for the 27-20. But I mean, there are times that maybe a guy makes a mistake and gets an out, but he said he did not make a pitch that was anything close to being hit.
Pennington has been on base 3 times, and he has scored 3 times. Hit by a pitch, a single, and a fielder's choice. Fouled straight back.
Is this Rafael Betancourt?
He's been watching him, that's for sure. He did come from the Rockies.
That's right. Where Betancourt is now
Exactly.
pitching. Yeah.
Foul back again.
Joaquin Benoit and Rafael Betancourt, same team, and maybe you add Rogers. Average time of game, if they're in the game, long time.
Toward first, Kochman has it. Takes it himself, side retired. A's get a hit and a walk. They strand 2. So 8th innings coming up. 7-0 Athletics. Is brought to you by Hyundai. Hyundai Sunday is brought to you by your Bay Area Hyundai dealers. Top of the 8th inning from the Coliseum. All Athletics leading 7-0 over the Indians. So Parker will face Cabrera, Chu, and Santana. That was pitch number 88 for Parker. It's hit hard. Chris Carter takes care of it. So Asdrubal Cabrera is 0 for 4 with 4 ground ball outs.
Chris Carter's been busy with the left-handed hitters, and he has handled everything that's been hit hard, whether to his left or right.
Now batting, number 17.
Done a very good job.
Jin-Soo Choo.
He's got to be pleased with his performance this go around. Both sides of the ball.
So here's Chu. Chu's had a good game, couple of singles, 2 for 3. did have an early opportunity to give the Indians the lead in the very first inning. He struck out with a runner at third and one out. Easy play for Weeks. And that's out number 2.
Parker's got to pitch a complete game. The Indians are helping.
Yep.
He's throwing strikes, changing speeds very effectively, but the Indians are very aggressive.
Now batting,
6 in a row retired by Parker. He's given up 6 hits total. Just 2 strikeouts and 1 walk. Well, this is Carlos Santana. He has one of those 6 hits, a single in the third. Bottom of the 8th inning down in Anaheim. Rays 6, Angels 2. Very high, right into that sun. Pennington fighting it again, and Cliff's got it. So 7 in a row retired, and that was a 6-pitch inning for Jared Parker. Bottom of the 8th coming up.
Deck? No way!
Here's our game summary brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Jared Parker has been terrific. 8 shutout innings tonight. And the A's offense is coming to life in this series. Moss with a home run. But the afternoon belongs to Coco Crisp. A 3-run shot in the 5th inning. He has also had a pair of run-scoring singles. So Coco Crisp is 3 for 4 with 5 RBIs. So 0-6-0 for the Indians, 7-12-0 for the Athletics. So that's your game summary brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. Your oil change, tune-up, and smog experts. The closer, Chris Perez, comes in. So Perez obviously has not pitched in this series, so up until right now. Sometimes you got to get your closer a little work. Cook starts to throw. What a good ball game for Weeks. 2 for 2. A single, a double, a sacrifice. 2 walks, or 2 runs scored, excuse me, and an RBI. His first single was a bunt single. And that pitch missed outside, I believe. 1-2. Crisp will be next, and then Donaldson. High fastball, 94 miles an hour. So Perez strikes out Weeks for out number 1.
A's have been watching the young pitchers, and maybe there's some explanation right now for the skipper talking to Jared Parker, who is 3 outs away from a shutout. And pitch count the last couple of innings, hitters have been swinging at them. He's retired 7 in a row. Looks like it's going to be Cook coming in. And I would think, simply say, young man, you're going to have a lot of opportunities to pitch shutouts. But maybe if he doesn't go out in the 9th inning, they can save an inning for later, maybe. But it's been a very good game, great game for the right-hander today.
Speaking of great games, Coco Crisp has had one. So 5 RBIs for Crisp. He now has 35 runs batted in on the year. Hard right past Ty Waller. So 1-2. I think we mentioned it. Houston Astros fired their manager last night, Brad Mills. Did it after the game. Of course, we all know the struggles the Astros have had this year. 39 and 82 record. That one's hit to right center. Brantley is going to track it down. A nice running play by the Indians center fielder. A's baseball on Comcast Sports in California is brought to you by Cache Creek's Tropical Riches. Win cash and prizes daily through September 3rd. Visit cachecreek.com for details.
Number 20, Josh.
So 2 outs. So Brad Mills is gone as the Astros manager, but the part of the story that I wanted to talk about was the gentleman they named as the interim manager.
Right.
His name is Tony DeFrancesco.
That's right. Congratulations to Tony D. Maybe the last 6 weeks will turn out to be good for him, and they will retain him as a full-time manager. And you say
Ty Van Berkeley is the hitting coach. So a couple of good gentlemen. So
Vanbo, he's a good man.
Tony DeFrancesco, the manager of the Houston Astros. He was managing the Astros AAA team.
A lot of success in Sacramento with the A's AAA club.
There's a lot of talk from the national media, though, and I guess certainly an organization can do what they want when they want, but it was, you can't wait 6 weeks and let the guy finish the season. There's a little truth to that, I think, but hey, like I said, the organization can do whatever they want.
Considering as bad as they are. They will be in the American League West next year.
So that.
The A's hope that the number of times they play him, they continue to be bad. Be a lot of games against the Astros.
Line shot, center field. Brantley's there, side retired. So Perez retires the A's in order. 9th inning coming up. The A's 3 outs away from a shutout. Well, it's a pretty good weekend for the Athletics and their fans. Looking back at the 10-year anniversary of the 20-game win streak. Had a lot of fun doing that, and the A's are going for the sweep. 3 outs away when it's time for a change. Think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change tune-up and smog experts. Ryan Cook comes in. So Ryan Cook has not pitched yet in this series, so not a bad time to give him an inning of work and see if he can preserve the shutout for the Athletics. Brantley to lead it off. First pitch is a strike.
Well, the key to your statement, preserve a shutout. Anytime a reliever comes in out of the bullpen. Last night the A's had a very good lead. Penn gave up 4 runs, so A's would like to complete this game with a shutout. Sure. Ryan Cook is trying to do exactly that.
And he gets the first down.
Time now for the AT&T U-verse reverse replay. Hamadeh Coco crisp and base hit. How about the 3-run home run off Austin Masterson? And then he had another base hit to center field to drive home 5 in the afternoon. Fought the sun in center field, played nicely.
First pitch to Casey Kochman is outside. A's with 12 hits in the game. They've doubled the hit total of the Indians. In for a strike. Mariners still leading the Twins 2-1 in the 7th inning. So the Twins tomorrow night. We'll have it for you right here on CSN California. This one's popped up on the infield. Again, the sun, and it's going to fall. And now they're going to throw back to first, and they're going to get Kochman in a rundown. He's tagged out, and that's out number 2.
That is a base hit for Casey Kochman. But we know we talked about the old assumption. There's a fly ball in the infield. But you have to know the sun is very, very hard, very tough on anybody on the left side. And if you're going to run hard to second base, not just round first base, assuming the ball is going to be caught, you're going to be heading back to dugout. He's going back to dugout, but not very happy.
So even when the Indians get a break,
yep,
they turn around and make a mistake. So 2 outs. And this is Brent Lillibridge. Shutout leaders. A's looking for their 11th. Rays with 12, Angels with 15. Good pitch there, inside corner. And the Rays are closing in on a victory. They have just added 2 more runs in the top of the 9th inning. Rays 8, Angels 2. 2-1 pitch. Very close, but called the ball. The Angels had a closed-door meeting after the game last night.
Yes. And Ray scored 4 early.
There's a strike.
You know, Major League players don't need motivation. And they know what's at stake. Because the Angels know that they were projected, expected to win. As Torrey Hunter said, not just the division, they expect to win the World Series this year with the additions they made. But the A's, in that same year 2002, in which the A's won the division, the Angels won wild card, won the World Series. The A's 1 out away from being 10 over 500.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out, and that's the game. So what a series by the Athletics. They win it today by a final score of 7-0. And the A's outscore the Indians in the series 21-9. And they sweep the Tribe. Jared Parker, 8 shutout innings today, and he gets his 8th win of the year. So terrific weekend here at the Coliseum. Fans enjoyed it. A's players enjoyed it, and so did we. So A's have the brooms out, and they finish off the sweep. Again, the final score, the Athletics 7, and the Indians nothing. Well, you've been watching Oakland A's baseball here at Comcast Sportsnet as part of the NBC Sports Group. Don't go away. A's Postgame Live with Dave Benz and Greg Cataray starts right now.